So to make the install easier, remove your caliper from the fork. So in the Warp 9 kit, this one we're going to remove the odometer. They have the speedo hub that you can use your speedo with, but this bike just had the odometer and we wanted the trail tech. So they have two spacers. There's a long and a short. The shorter one goes on the rotor side. The long one goes on the non-rotor side, which will replace your odometer. Make sure to grease the spacer. This is not greasing your bearings, it's simply greasing the seal and the spacer. So there's a little bit less friction. Your seal and your spacer will last longer. Simply roll it into place. Now you can put the washer and nut back on the rotor side. You just want to snug the axle down at this point. So we will tighten until you can see it spinning. That's technically as tight as you want to go at this point. And then tighten the pinch bolts on your fork tube on the rotor side and torque them down. And at this point you want to tighten your axle nut and torque it down to factory specs. So right now you have the brake rotor side snug, tight, and torqued down. Your speedo side is going to be, your speedo is still loose. So if you pull on the fork, you can see it slide, the axle slides in the pinch bolt. So once you compress your forks a couple times, it aligns your forks where they need to be, then you can tighten the odometer side. Or now it's the non-rotor side because we removed the odometer. So now the wheel is installed. You can see it centered perfectly between the forks. No touching, no rubbing. Now we're going to install the brake caliper. In your kit came with a little styrofoam bag with your bracket, Loctite, and some bolts. It says must use Loctite on all adapter bracket bolts. This is a must. If you don't, your bracket's going to come loose and it's going to just gouge up your ram, if not cause an accident. Okay, in your kit, there's going to be this bracket, and there's threaded holes and then non-threaded holes. And if you look at your stock bracket, you have threaded holes. The way it was this was inside the caliper bracket. The bolt went through your fork leg and threaded into the bracket. So you're going to need to do the same thing on this side. This bracket on this side has those same threads. So it's basically going to go just like that. The other end's not threaded, but you are threaded into your bracket. So it's going to go on just like that. Then you're going to take the bolts provided with the kit, Loctite them, sink through the bracket, thread it into your stock bracket. And the same thing with the other one. So that's how the bracket goes, and then you're just going to use your stock bolts on the other part. One thing you notice, the caliper will not fit around the rotor. It just hits the rim. So instead of damaging the rim, we're going to replace or remove your brake pads. Take out the little set screw. Loosen this pin until one of your pads will fall out, or you'll be able to remove one pad. Take one pad out. This is going to give you enough room to slip the caliper over your rotor. Okay, once you have the bracket loosely in place, with the brake pad removed, the outer brake pad, try and slip it around the rotor. If there's still not room, if you take out the screw or the bolt holding your front brake line to your fork guard, that will help give you a little more slack. And then you can bring it down farther and get around the rotor and then up into place. And then once it's in place, put your stock bolts in. Make sure to Loctite them. Okay, everything's in place. Easiest way, put it on the rotor itself and just slide it to where it needs to go. And there you have it.